Nithya.
வணக்கம் சுதீர்.
Thank you for joining me here.
Thank you so much.
நம்ம பேசுறதுக்கான கான்டெக்ட் ஆப்வியஸ்லி தலைவன் தலைவி வந்து 25ஆம் தேதி ரிலீஸ் ஆகி இருக்கு. அதை பொறுத்து கொஞ்சம் பேசுவோம். பட் அங்கேருந்து வில் ஆல்சோ டச் அப்பான் அ லாட் ஆஃப் யுவர் தமிழ் ஒர்க் அஸ் வெல். தலைவன் தலைவி டீசர் பார்க்கும்பொழுது இது ஒரு திருமண வாழ்க்கைக்குள்ளே நடக்கக்கூடிய சிக்கல்களாக இருக்குமோ அப்படின்னு தோண வச்சுது. But my immediate relief was that, hey, this isn't centered on the man separately, right? This isn't about him with a wife that he has to deal with. It feels like two people trying to figure out things with each other. So do you want to talk about that dynamic, about getting a character that probably occupies the same space as the man?
Yeah. That, is always a pleasure because the number of scripts which are equanimous is very less compared to the ones which are not equanimous. So especially in the mari oru environment, small town, it's a very sort of rooted local kind of a film. And the environment la இந்த மாதிரி அப்ரோச் பண்ணுறாங்கன்னா that itself for me was really nice. That credit goes to the director and writer and also to the actor who's willing to play a real role rather than just be having to show off a image or be a hero all the time. That அந்த image create பண்ணுறது இல்லை, அதுதான் இன்ஆர்கானிக்காக ஒரு மாதிரி அன்நேச்சுரலாக ஒரு வி மேக் சச் சிந்தட்டிக் ஃபில்ம்ஸ் பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் தேட். ஸோ அது இல்லாமல் ஒரு ரியலாக பண்ணணுன்னா எல்லாருமே அந்த ஒரு கொலாபரேட்டிவ் மைண்ட் செட்டில் எல்லோரும் இருக்கணும். ஆல் ஆக்டர்ஸ், ஆல் ரைட்டர்ஸ், யூ ஷுட் பி வில்லிங் டு அலோவ் அ உமன் டு பி ஸ்ட்ராங். அது யூஸ்வலாக நான் பார்த்த ஈவன் நானே பண்ண சில கமர்ஷியல் சினிமாவில் it is very consciously, to up him you are used, and that's a very sad, very wrong.
You do a lot of diverse work though, and some of it does include these sort of roles as well.
I try very hard to not.
Right.
I try very hard to not. Like, it's not that, but it happens sometimes without my, like, சில டைலாக்ஸ் இப்போ நான் கேட்டிருக்க மாட்டேன், நான் நெரேஷன்லாம் அந்த டைலாக் நான் கேட்டிருக்க மாட்டேன், ஆனால் அது இருக்கும். ஸோ some things are beyond my control. So I try as much as possible. If you see, I'll never do something which is like that. It'll be very subtle. அதுலேயும் எனக்கு எஸ்பெஷலி என்கிட்ட கொடுக்குறாங்கன்னா அவ்வளோ யோசிச்சு தான் அவங்க அந்த மாதிரி கொடுக்க மாட்டாங்க. இருந்தாலும் ஒரு டைலாக், ஒரு 2 டைலாக் ஏதாவது ஒன்று இருக்கும் which I will immediately know that I can't believe I'm saying this, but I have committed, I have agreed to do the film, so I will do it.
இது ஸ்டார் வெஹிக்கிள்ஸோட கான்சிக்வன்ஸாக பார்க்குறீங்களா? Like, is that because automatically there's a lot of money riding on it, you know how the math works, and do you feel like these films specifically suffer from this syndrome we are talking about?
The syndrome is ego pretty much, I think, that is there everywhere, it is there with everyone. அது ரொம்ப சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கணும், அப்போ தான் ஈகோ இருக்கும்னு இல்லை. We see ego with everybody. Like, it's the hardest thing to even deal with people who are working with us, or someone who is working as a domestic. They have like horrible egos, so ego itself is the problem there, where it's all about one person, it's about you, so everything's got to be about you, and anything in the world cannot be like that, and similarly films can definitely not be like that. It has to be about the film.
அதனால தான் நினைக்கிறேன் எனக்கு a movie like Thiruchitrambalam really stands out, because there you have a star, yes, but this man
it's
is willing to be...
It's about the film. So we are truly making a film. I personally don't consider, if it's not film centric, I don't consider them films at all. I don't think they can be considered cinema, no. Yeah, they may make lots of money, and you have tags and of all kinds of tags and all of that, and the best of people get influenced by those things, and I've seen that. It's very sad to see, but even like critics or anyone, I've seen them being influenced by these kind of things. But the truth is that it's never a film if it's made for one person.
ஏ தலைவன் தலைவிக்கு மறுபடியும் இப்படி வந்தோம் அப்படின்னா அதை பொறுத்து வாட் வுட் யூ சே, ஒரு திருமணங்களை பற்றி பல படங்கள் வந்திருக்கு இல்லை, இது ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்காக ஹே இந்த ஒரு விஷயத்தை பற்றி பேசுது, பட் இது ஜென்ரலாக நம்ம படங்கள் பேசாத ஒரு விஷயன்ற மாதிரி எதாவது இருக்கா கல்யாணங்கள் பொறுத்து?
அப்படி இல்லை, like when we're talking about, when we're doing films, அது வந்து it's not always a statement. I heard this about like so many films, Kadhalikka Neramillai or Okay Kanmani or something. It's not a statement, it's one piece of life from certain people, right? In the world இப்போ நிறைய பேர் இருக்காங்க, அதில் சில பேர் இப்படி இருக்காங்க. அது நம்ம, that doesn't mean this is universal or we're giving some universal message about relationships or marriage. It's not at all like that. We are talking about one, maybe the writer got inspired by one event that he saw in front of him and he wrote about that event.
Yeah.
அதோட மீனிங் வந்து ஓகே நீங்கள் இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணுறீங்க, ஸோ தட் மீன்ஸ் டு யூ பிலீவ் இன் திஸ் ஆர் டு யூ பிலீவ் இன் தட், அண்ட் இட்ஸ் நாட் லைக் இட்ஸ் ஜஸ்ட் a story.
ஐடியாலஜிக்கல் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் அப்படிங்கிறது தாண்டி இல்லை, once you start digging into relationship, any relationship, right, between two people, and if it's என்ன சொல்கிறது, if it's felt and if it's done well, I'm assuming something does emerge out of it, right? Something very specific. அந்த படத்துக்காக மட்டும் இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு தன்மை ஏதோ ஒன்று வரும்ல, அது ஒரு நகைச்சுவையாக இருக்கும்போது கூட.
I don't know about that yet, but I think the universal aspects are in the details for this film. அது என்ன டாபிக்ஸில் சண்டை போடுறோம், எப்படி அந்த சண்டை ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகுது, வாட் ஆர் த ஸ்மால் திங்ஸ், த ஸ்மால் ஈகோ இஷ்யூஸ், அதெல்லாம் வந்து that is the universal thing in this film that I think எல்லாரும் ரிலேட் பண்ணுவாங்க. அதை பார்த்து இப்படி எக்ஸாக்டாக இப்படி தான் இவன் பேசுவான், இல்லை இதே மாதிரி தான் இவன் பிஹேவ் பண்ணுவான், that kind of a relatability will definitely be there for this film. It's just about how normally when a girl gets married and goes to the in-laws house, how they have issues and how they fight, where that fights come from. Just treated in a comedy kind of platform.
I think Pandeyaraj அவர்களுடைய ஒரு படங்கள், there's a certain loudness about it, right? When it's enjoyable, it really works.
It's loud. Like loud na, I mean sound wise. It was loud. We were all screaming at the top of our voice.
உங்களுக்கு what sort of adjustment did it need from you as a performer?
So I'm not big on screaming and shouting, so I was like, my God, this is a lot of fighting. Like then he'll tell me, இது ஒன்றும் இல்லைங்க, நீங்கள் ஒன்றுமே பார்க்கல, இதை விட பயங்கரமாக ஃபைட் பண்ணுவாங்க, தலை முட்டியெல்லாம் பிடிச்சி இப்படி. லைக் மை காட். I truly enjoyed doing this because for an actor to be thrown on the edge, and said, now do something that you now learn, do something that you've never done before. So I loved being cracked open like that because it's not fun to fit in a image or fit in a mold. It's actually not fun, especially if you're a creative person, if you're if you really, if creating is what you want, then it's not fun. So a film like this, especially comedy, it was one of the few times I decided I'm going to let go. Now I'm not on the self-consciousness of the vittittu, I'm going to just do what is required in this, right? I'm not going to resist it. And because it's so different from me, I have to break my molds. And I enjoy doing that. I enjoyed that when I was doing Kanchana. It is why I chose Kanchana, because someone was telling me something that I had no clue how to play. So I was like, yes, I think I should do this, because I should figure out how I'm going to play this. So it was a similar thing. I enjoyed doing this because I enjoyed breaking those rigidities, and becoming flexible. So, and the process for me personally, internally, it was a process of fluidity, to just fluidly flow and just follow, how. So when Pandyraj talks, I used to like observe him entirely, and like that's where I got the confidence to be like Arasi. I would watch him and I would say, I'm just gonna imbibe this. I'm not gonna say this is not me. I don't know how to do this. Like, this is so different from me. I'm an actor. I'm supposed to do things that are all over the place. So I'm just going to imbibe this from him. So I enjoyed that breakdown of that, image and everything, and just flowing.
I mean, pala achariyamana choices you've made. Of that, for me, the film that you just mentioned, Kanchana 2, really stands out.
Yeah.
Because I definitely did not see that coming
Yeah.
in your filmography, or even as a performance from there. But I thought you made it really believable. I was really invested in the emotional turmoil of that character.
And even working with Lawrence Master, I would say Lawrence Master and Pandyraj are some of the people that I most connected with when I was working. So, Ivanga pati da, before we started, this talk was like, Lawrence Master and Nithya Menen, how is that going to work? It's like chalk and cheese. No, it's not true. When nama work பண்ணும்போது, when we started working, we had such a good rapport. We became like good friends, and we had such a good rapport. We had such a good understanding. It's human understanding, it goes beyond what people think. Nama pandra genres different ah irukkalam, but there's a human connection which is beyond all of these things. And that I felt with both of them. With Pandyraj sir also I felt that. Very simple human being, and so am I. So there's a ease in us working together.
உங்களுக்கு இப்போ காஞ்சனா 2 பண்ணதுனால ஓரளவுக்கு அரசி இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் accessible-ஆ இருந்தாங்களா? Would you say that helped?
I wouldn't say that really, but I did do this Thalaivan Thalaivii and Idly Kadai together.
Rama.
So that was even more, I was expected to be more rural than this. So it was, அது வந்து ரெண்டும் ஒன்றா இருந்ததுனால, that entire 6 months for me was this journey of fluidity.
Right.
I'm just
Learning
gonna
to be someone you're not.
Just gonna like let go and flow and be an actor.
எனக்கு இந்த ஐ மீன் ரொம்ப கேஷுவலாக சில லைன்ஸ் நீங்கள் பேசும்போது கூட அதை நீங்கள் எவ்வளோ ஒரு நிஜமான ஒரு லைனாக அது கன்வே பண்ணுற ஒரு விஷயம் எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும். இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இந்த படத்தினுடைய டீசரில் அஃப்கோர்ஸ் மாறி மாறி திட்டிக்கிறீங்க, அதெல்லாம் இருக்குது. பட் வென் ஐ வாஸ் ரீவிசிட்டிங் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம், பாரதிராஜா அவங்க வந்துட்டு உங்ககிட்ட அப்படி பேசிட்டு நீங்கள் ரெண்டு பேரும் என்ன உங்களுக்கு ரெண்டு பேரும் மென்டல் இல்னஸ் இருக்கான்ற மாதிரி ஒரு வார்த்தையை ஒன்று கேட்டுட்டு அவர் உள்ளே போயிடுவார். போன உடனே நீங்கள் வந்து அவரை கேலட்டு பைய அப்படின்னுவீங்க. இட்ஸ் நாட் அ வெரி லைக்கபிள் திங் டு சே, எஸ்பெஷலி அபவுட் அன் ஓல்ட் மேன் இன் த ஃபேமிலி ஹூஸ் ட்ரைங் டு பி நைஸ் டு எவ்ரி ஒன். வேறு யாராவது அதை சொல்லியிருந்தால் மேபி அவங்கள நான் கொஞ்சம் கம்மியாக நினச்சிருப்பனோ என்னவோ, என்ன இப்படி மரியாதை இல்லாமல் பேசுகிறாங்கன்னு. பட் ஐ திங்க் just the way you say it, the way you communicate these things, இது ஒரு 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 malicious இடத்துலேருந்து வரலை, இது ஒரு அன்பான ஒரு இடத்துலேருந்து வருது. I don't know if I could ever pull off character by from an அன்பான இடம். Right. So when you get these lines, these abuses, these insults, it's amazing how you pull them off as ஏதோ காம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் மாதிரி இருக்கும் நீங்கள் சொல்கிறது.
I always feel, acting is not some separate skill set, that you learn, or, it's just an extension of your personality. So what your personality is visible, and also I think specifically, I think I'm very transparent as a person as well. Like, you will see everything that I'm going through. Like, it's not, there are no masks, or there's nothing that I'm hiding. You'll see everything. So that transparency is a bit more probably. So it's just purely an extension of me. And that's why and the process vandu, it's like, you know, when a baby is playing with a toy, the absorbed அந்த ஆக்டிவிட்டி வந்து அது ஒரு பெரிய ஆக்டிவிட்டியாக இல்லைன்னு சொல்லலாம். ஆனால் the absorption of the child with the toy, that moment is how complete it is. That is how I am when I do a scene or a shot. So that's why that impact of that focus is there.
Yeah, you're truly
when
there.
You watch.
Right.
Yes,
right,
and
right.
at that time அது வந்து, and at any time there is no thought of anything else, like who am I, or there is no ego, like Nithya is not anywhere in the picture, you know, during that time, or that what will I gain out of this.
It's amazing you're able to create that separation.
It's not a separation, it's just being.
Right.
And if you're truly just being, at any moment that's going to be the case. Something else will flow through you. And that, I think, is what is that difference that you see, that sometimes if you hear some people say certain dialogues that you get irritated, or you feel what you're feeling is like, I think, some sort of manipulation of, you know, it's not pure. It's like there is some manipulation there, there's some ego there, or, you know, then the personality becomes a little unlikable.
Lovely. I love what you just said. Okay. I mean, obviously, psycho kuda you do a lot of abusing.
God. I don't know why, but like in Tamil films, they make me, and I don't even know the meaning of a lot of these abuses.
Okay.
I've never even said it once.
They corrupted you.
Yeah. And I was like, enna idella solla vechu neenga, you're making it look, and you should see Idly Kadai, it's still coming.
Abdiya innu varudha?
Coming, some more is coming.
They're really arming you with all these words.
Yeah.
காதலிக்க நேரமில்லை பற்றி பேசிகிட்டு இருந்தோம். எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்சது படம், ஆப்வியஸ்லி, அண்ட் எஸ்பெஷலி வாட் யூ டிட் இன் த ஃபிலிம். பயங்கரமான ஒரு இர்ரெவரன்ஸ் இருந்துச்சு அதில். எனக்கே ரொம்ப ஒரு பெரிய ரிலீஃபாக இருந்துச்சு பார்க்கும்போது. யூனோ, கேர்ள் சேயிங், ஆமாம் கற்பு போயிடுச்சுன்னு வீட்டில் அப்பா அம்மா கிட்ட சொல்கிறதாக இருக்கட்டும், இல்லை ஜஸ்ட் ஸ்மால் திங்ஸ் வேர் யூ ஆர்ன்ட் பிஹேவிங் ஆஸ் யூ ஷுட் பி, ரைட்? ஆமாம் நான் சிங்கிள் தான், பட் நான் ப்ரெக்னென்ட் தான், பட் ஐ எம் நாட் அஷேம்ட் அபவுட் இட், ஐம் நாட் சேட் அபவுட் இட், ஐ டோன்ட் ஃபீல் இன்கம்ப்ளீட் பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் இட். நான் ரோட்டில் போகிறேன், நான் பாட்டுக்கு டான்ஸ் ஆடிக்கிட்டு இருக்கேன் மழையில், ரைட்? ஐ லவ்ட் ஆல் தீஸ் பிட்ஸ். அண்ட் உங்களுக்கு வாட் was it a relief to get to play a woman like that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. I did, like the Karuppu Pochu and all, I did hesitate a little. I thought about it, and I was like, really? To the parents? Because I would personally not speak that way to my parents, simply because I have a strong sense of, you know, like, I don't know, respect, or like, if someone's not comfortable with something, I'll never push that agenda on them. So it was very, I did think about it, but then I went in favor of the writer. Like, if the writer has written that, it's my job to do it, and it's not my personal opinion that matters there. So I decided to go with that. But yes, it was very, very, you know, nama படங்கள் ஜென்ரலாக படங்கள் பார்க்கும்போது, யூனோ, வி வாட்ச் இங்கிலீஷ் ஃபில்ம்ஸ், ஹாலிவுட், அண்ட் அதில் வந்து there'll be a fluidity and a flexibility of character. Like, அந்த ஒரு flexibility, you know, I always craved for it. Like, when will we play characters where there's no judgment, you know? Like, in like a lot of times we have very tight boxes, right? We try to fit, and something about that, because I think my personality itself doesn't fit into any shape, any particular shape. So if you say she's like this, actually I'm not. I'm also on the very opposite end. I'm like, you know, the other thing also. So it just simply doesn't fit. So I used to always feel, I wish I could like play something like this where, like, you know, I have a kid and, you know, it's like then there's a love story. And so I've thought about it.
Yeah.
Why do we not do stuff like this and all? So when this happened, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least it's one step in the right direction, I feel. Or at least in a different, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it's one step in a different direction.
Ama.
Let's do something different.
No, it's just opening up views, right?
Yes. And I also really, with Kadhalikka Neramillai, one of the things I told Kiru immediately was, Kiru, ஒரு ஹீரோயின் வந்து ஒரு அம்மாவா ப்ளே பண்ணுறது, ஆனாலும் ஹீரோயினாக ப்ளே பண்ணுறது, I think it's time to make it mainstream. You know, that old way of thinking, no, that இப்படி தான் இருக்கணும், அப்போ தான் அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து கேரக்டர் ஆர்டிஸ்ட் ஆடணும், அதுக்கப்புறம் இப்படி ஆடணும், that, you know, one old you know, fossilized sort of mindset. I wanted to like break it. Why not? Why can't we do films where, you know, I can sometimes play a mother, sometimes not, you know, why not? And the flexibility irukkutume, let actors feel comfort, let actors feel safe, that na ipdi pannalum it doesn't mean that that's the end of my
Yeah, and I think
career.
flexibility is a great word, fluidity is a great word in describing that film. You know, simply because she's content being single doesn't mean she's decided to be single forever either.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Even then she's saying, you know, எனக்கு கூட இருக்க பிடிச்சிருக்குன்னா, then why not?
Also it's a normal, like, enna and she's got her flaws, you know, ஒரு விம்ல சடனா அவ டிசைட் பண்ணா, it does happen. You know, people do things like this. It's okay. We're just talking about one person who did that. On a whim, she decided something. She went for it, and, you know, she was angry and she went for it. And, you know, yeah, I like that. I like being like light about the films we do, and we represent as much as we can about the world that we see.
Yeah. As long as it's not too one-sided.
Yes, absolutely.
அதில் ஐ திங்க் ஒரு குட்டி சீன் வரும், ஒரு டாக்டர் கூட நீங்கள் பேசிகிட்டு இருப்பீங்க, பக்கத்தில் உங்கள் எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச்ட் ஹஸ்பண்ட் உட்காந்துட்டு இருப்பாங்க. அண்ட் தென் ஹீல் சே வெரி சம்திங் தட் redeems himself. He says, ஹே ஆமாம், நான் அந்த மாதிரி பண்ணிட்டேன், தப்பு, உன்னால் என்ன மன்னிக்க முடியாது, புரியுது, பட் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி he'll redeem himself in front of you. எல்லா வசனங்களுமே அவருக்கு தான் இருக்கும் அந்த காட்சியில். But so much goes on in your mind. You're supposed to communicate that maybe you're starting to forgive him. Maybe you don't see him as the bad guy anymore. And இதெல்லாம் நடந்துட்டு இருக்கும்போது, meanwhile you have this whole doctor thing to deal with as well. I love that you didn't have a single word to say there. And your eyes are moving here and there, processing all this information. How do you play those scenes? What do you do?
Honestly, it's a very spontaneous thing.
Yeah? Okay.
In that moment, it's just in that moment. It's how I would personally process something like that. So technically, you're actually seeing me, like you're seeing me, and maybe how I would process it. அந்த ஒரு ஷேட் இருக்கும், அந்த கேரக்டரோட ஒரு சின்ன ஷேட், ஒரு டிண்ட் இருக்கும். I'll bring in something, but அந்த கோர் emotions இருக்குல்ல, core fundamental things, those are all things which maybe how I would process it. That is the unique quality that we all bring as actors. Personally, what would we do, right? That's what I think makes us unique as actors. So if I do a scene versus someone else does a scene, it's different, and that difference is in the human beings that we are.
Yeah. Ungala, what parts of you usually turn up? Do you see a pattern there in terms of the characters that you play specifically?
What part?
In terms of who you are as a person.
Oh, all of me.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Of course.
No masks there.
No. That's the beauty of being an actor. You're so vulnerable. You're showing exactly what you are. At least that's the case for me. It's not an acting. I've seen a lot of people in real life who act, and it has only recently I've realized that, like, oh, these people are acting in real life. I don't even know that that's possible. How can you like have such a mask? And for me, every response is a real response. Like, you won't see anything which is false. So a lot of people, I've realized their acting is also coming from that they know how to act in real life. Their people are constantly acting.
How interesting.
Yeah. So I've seen a lot of people who, I get where that is coming from now. Like, oh, this person is putting up a front, and then so this person is very used to acting and knows how to manipulate another person's emotion. So he wants you to now feel bad for me. He knows how to make that happen. He knows how to show the emotion perfectly. And you'll, by the way, these are considered like great actors and everything. So then it's just, that's coming from the mind. Like, they know how to manipulate your emotions. They know how to make you feel something for them. They do it in life and they do it in films also. For me, the source is different. It's much more transparent.
Yeah, essentially what you're saying is நான் படத்திலேயே ஆக்ட் பண்ணல பட் இவங்க
Yes,
நிஜத்துல ஆக்ட்
absolutely,
பண்றாங்கன்றது
absolutely.
தான். Yeah.
Which is why I need more breaks. I need more time out.
Yeah,
I need all that because it's a lot more exhausting.
Yeah, in that sense, Thalaivan Thalaivii, was it a relief? In that sense as well? Because இதுலயும் நிறைய baggage இருக்கா? Like, is there a lot to process or are you just having fun with it?
I think the predominant emotion that I felt when I was shooting Thalaivan Thalaivii was that feeling flexible and being open and doing comedy consciously. Like, I have done things before, but I've always in my mind had this constant line that I used to keep saying to myself, I'm not good at comedy, it's not my thing. I'm not good at doing comedy. So this is the first time I said, no, why? You are good at it. It's okay. Let's be, all you need to do when you need to be a comedian is you need to lose all of your inhibitions. So breaking the inhibitions was my predominant process. I enjoyed that. Yeah. I should sit like this or look elegant or I should move like this or look pretty. All of those inhibitions, I broke it. And that was the fun part.
Yeah. I think one of the things I'll take away from our little conversation in Goa was it was just a feeling, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I got the feeling that maybe you're not necessarily soaking in this adulation or whatever perks come with being an actor and all of this, right? Which,
it's true.
Yeah.
And I've contemplated a lot on that. I've contemplated whether is it a good thing or is it that I'm not feeling. But the truth is that ever, like, it was never like that because I was never doing it for those things. Like, when we are talking, my takeaway here was losing inhibitions, for example. That is a very character, like, it's much more deeper than external things. So I was never doing it for those external reasons or those validations or for everyone to be,
smitten and
yeah. So though that was never a driving reason for anything. When I do a scene, I'm just doing the scene, that's it. I'm not thinking like what will happen after this. I don't know, and I don't care. Like, I don't think if you for me, just that I've always naturally, I know that now intellectually I know it, but I've always naturally been someone who's just living in the moment. And that's what I realized about myself recently, that that was where it's coming from. It's just, I was just being, so there's nothing wrong with me not enjoying this, because what happens after that is none of my business, is what I always felt. That is someone else's business, it's not up to us.
In any case, இதுதான் ultimate goal ஆகவே இருக்கு. This is the most, I think that's the hardest thing to do, which is being present
exactly.
in the moment, right?
Exactly. And I was that way, I'm saying since young. It's not a learned thing. But I used to question that also. Like, is there something wrong with me? Because everybody else seems to be complete. Because you're asked this question, film is releasing. How are you feeling? Are you nervous? Then I question it. Am I nervous? No. Why am I not nervous? So everyone else is nervous. Why am I not nervous? So you think that am I, whatever. But it's a big blessing.
No, that's lovely. I hope you retain that.
I will most certainly.
இந்த ஏதோ ஒன்று ரெண்டு இன்டர்வியூஸில் கூட ஐ வாஸ் ரீடிங் அபவுட் யூ அண்ட் நான் நேஷனல் அவார்டுக்கு முன்னாடி இந்த படங்களையே விட்டு போகலான்னு யோசிச்சுட்டு இருந்தேன் அப்படி இப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஐ டோன்ட் நோ ஆர் தி சென்சேஷனலைஸ்ட் ஹெட்லைன்ஸ் ஆர் டிட் யூ ஆக்சுவலி மீன்?
I mean, a lot of things are sensationalized and quoted without context.
Right. Okay.
So if you just say that line, it sounds different, but there's a lot going on in a person's life which is beyond that, Leah. So I have always until a few years back, I have always thought of doing something else. Like, just I have to go and explore. I have to figure out what I want to do, because I was very when I was younger, I was very passionate and very I was like, yeah, you know, now life is starting, because school was like it was, yeah, well, there was not much freedom, and you know, so everything was like that. So finally, now college was starting, and now was the time for me to pick what I wanted to do with my life, you know. And I was that conscious about it, like, okay, what do I want to do with my life? So at 15, when people were just randomly picking things, I was like, no, now I can make a decision. I'm not helpless. I can choose what I want to study, what I want to. So I had that kind of focus. So for me to have accidentally ended up in something without even realizing it, and you know, when you like fall into something like, what, where did I really, am I, you know? So for the longest time, I remember suddenly I used to be like, oh, am I an actor? I'm an actress. Oh, Nithya's an actress. That is so weird. Like, can you imagine? You know what I mean? Like, it's that far from
That sounds like
what I thought.
That sounds like a prison.
It felt for some time like that, but that is the story of life. That life is not really made for you to just have a happy time and go merry-go-round and, like, you know, it's
Or
not.
be in control,
It's meant for us to grow and evolve. And for us to grow, we need to be challenged. So I would have technically chosen something which would have made me very happy. You know, I would have probably
But can you
gone
know
off
that
something.
for sure?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can't. But I would have chosen. The thing is, I would have chosen something where I probably wouldn't have to deal with as many people, because that's my area of difficulty. I don't know how to. The way people are and how horrible they can be, like, I can't handle it, you know. So I would have chosen something which has lesser to do. But I was given the job where people is the main thing that I have to deal with, right? Because that is where the challenge is, that is where I need to grow. So then, you know, the growth is that I realize that it's not as I imagined, that things are not always just about me choosing the right thing and living a fairy tale life, you know. There is something beyond.
நிறைய கண்ட்ரோலும் லூஸ் பண்ண வேண்டியிருக்குல்ல, பிகாஸ் ஐ திங்க் இஃப் யூ திங்கிங் அபவுட், ஹே, நான் இந்த இடத்துக்கு வந்துட்டேன், ஐ டென்ட் பிளான் ஆன் இட், பட் ஐ எம் ஆல்ரெடி ஹியர்.
Yeah.
Where
So
is the exit?
that resistance was what was painful all these years. So I stopped resisting, and that I'm saying very
Or like a switch?
recently. No, I mean, it is a 10-15 years of contemplation and thinking and, you know, all of that. But I did, at some point I stopped resisting. I said, no, there is a purpose. It's not just like that, you know, something is given to you. And you're given a lot of things that I am very grateful for. So there must be a reason for this. Now
Like
the
a-
point is to
like
find
what, a bigger
that.
design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all here for something, and it doesn't have to be something dramatic, right? We don't all have to be Martin Luther King,
Yeah.
you know, but there is a specific reason and a purpose, and what we do doesn't really matter, but who we are while we do it, any job, that's what matters. So I decided to treat um, profession and these kind of things as a vehicle. That's it. The main plot is something
It's not
else.
the end goal. Yeah, yeah. Do you know what the? Do you have do you have any objectives in mind, like, or are you just?
Most certainly not.
Yeah, I figured.
Not
Yeah.
objectives,
Yeah.
but the what if you are sufficiently focused on something, you will find it. So my focus 24/7 is these kind of things, to find what you're doing. Like, there has to be something more for me. It's definitely not for myself, it's not for my ego, it's not for becoming famous and then everybody has to clap for me. That was not the purpose. So then what is, right? Then it starts to reveal itself, and it'll start, opening up and revealing itself why
Nice,
you're doing
nice,
this.
nice. May the pieces fall into place.
Yeah.
நம்ம படம்லாம் பார்க்கும்போதுல there are certain moments where you really feel like, fuck, you know what, this is really something unusual. Like Megham Karukatha towards the end, like, you do that little jig on the road. It's one of the moments I don't think I'll ever forget.
It was spontaneous, can you believe?
It was?
Yeah.
With the neon lights and
It was not even choreographed. Like, we just like went up and he said, okay, come. Let's, you and me, figure this out. What do we do? I think we should do something which looks like us, like, okay, let's go like that. So I went with him and like, okay, stop, like, no, stop, like that. And I did that. So it was a very spontaneous thing. And see, that's what I'm saying. When you do things which are like a spontaneous creativity, it will be remembered forever. You can never overthink something and do it and think that now I'll make history. It has to just happen.
Because it really felt like ரெண்டு people அங்கே vibe ஆகிட்டு இருக்காங்க, and I'm sure every single person can relate to that idea, right? They may not dance as well as you two did, spontaneously especially, but you know the feeling, you know what it is like to be in sync with another person.
Yeah.
எதை பற்றியும் யோசிக்காமல் ஆடிக்கிட்டு பாடிக்கிட்டு அப்படி இருக்கிற அந்த மூமெண்ட்டில். அண்ட் சினிமாட்டிக்லி ஆல்சோ ஐ தாட் இட் கேம் டுகெதர் பியூட்டிஃபுல்லி. ஐ தாட் அனீஸ் சாங் ended really well. ஸோ உங்களுக்கு இந்த I wanted to talk to you about certain choices you made, like தெலுங்கு படம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு படம் பார்த்தேன். எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்சது. எஸ்பெஷலி ஐ தாட் இட் ரியலி grew as it went on. அது எந்த மாதிரி
And
ஸ்பேஸ்?
for a Telugu film, it was such a experimental thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's not very likely that those kind of experiments are done as much in Telugu.
Yeah. Did you think it was bizarre the first time you heard it?
Yeah. I thought it was a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I said, there's a lot going on, and do we need all of this in one film?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. But again, that's the director's choice, and I'm like an actor for hire, so I loved my character, and like I was like, yes, absolutely, I'll do it. When else will you get to play something like this, right?
Yeah. My partner is coming அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு when you turn up in the biker jacket and everything,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Wow, what's happening in this film? There are spaces where for me, இந்த கம்ஃபர்ட் நீங்கள் பேசுகிறீங்கல்ல, வேர் ஐ எம் ரியலி கம்ஃபர்டபுள் பீயிங் மை செல்ஃப் ஆன் ஸ்க்ரீன், அண்ட் நீங்கள் என்ன வேணால் இமேஜ் வச்சுக்கோங்க, ஒரு நடிகைனா இப்படித்தான் இருக்கணும், அப்படித்தான் இருக்கணும், உடல் வாரியாக, உருவம் வாரியாக என்ன வேணா இருக்கட்டும். பட் ஃபார் மீ, a few actors like you are constantly breaking these things, right? They are telling the world that, hey, I don't know what expectations you have of us, but not going to fit into it. Like, I think Thiruchitrambalam ஒரு டைலாக் டக்குன்னு ஞாபகம் வருது. உனக்கு பிரியாணி கொடுக்கணுன்னா நான் பிரியாணி கடையில் போய் ஃபுல்லாக சமைச்சு தான் எடுத்துகிட்டு வரணும் அப்படின்னு. சத்தியமாக சொல்கிறேன், வேறு ஒருத்தங்களை பற்றி அது சொல்லியிருந்தா எனக்கு கொஞ்சோண்டாவது கோவம் வந்திருக்கும். இப்போ எதுக்கு அந்த பொண்ணை சம்மந்தமே இல்லாமல் இப்படி இன்சல்ட் பண்ணிட்டு போகிறேன்னு. பட் ஜஸ்ட் ஐ டோன்ட் நோ ஹவு யூ ரெஸ்பாண்ட் டு இட், ஹவு யூ டேக் இட் இன் யுவர் ஸ்ட்ரைட் as you go along with it. Yeah, just these small things, and I could tell that this doesn't really ruffle you. You're not really thinking about, oh, what does this mean? இது இந்த கேரக்டர் சார்ந்தா இல்ல ஒருவேளை இது என்ன பொறுத்த ஒரு காமெண்டாக பார்க்கப்படுமா? It doesn't feel like
It's
you're
a
processing it like
very
that.
different breed of people, like different breed of. That's what it's extremely self-serving and self-centered. Then everything will bother you, and everything is like, how will I look? How will I,
This is
all of
about
that.
me, yeah.
This is about me. I'm gonna. So those kind of things are not. If it's not there, then the film matters, and then it's more fun for people who watch.
இது ஃபில்மையும் தாண்டி கூட இல்லை. I mean, more than about films also. In reality, a lot of people do go through it. They make a lot of things about themselves. They worry. And I'm not even talking about the bad ones. Bad, if a bad யாருக்கா அப்ளை ஆகுமான்னு எனக்கு தெரியல, but you know what I mean. Not the malicious ones, for sure.
Yeah.
இப்போ அந்த மாதிரி மக்கள் ஒருவேளை இப்போ நீங்கள் பேசுகிறத கேட்டுட்டு அவங்க வந்து, how do I climb out of myself and say that, hey, not everything is about me. Let me not worry myself this much. அப்படின்னு நினைக்கிறவங்களுக்கு, I know it comes naturally to you, it seems. But what would you tell them? Like,
I would say that firstly, be aware, accept it, and say that, yes, I'm worried about myself. Yes, I'm self-centered. We are all self-centered unless we are Buddha, as in unless you attain a certain stage, you are self-centered, in different degrees. But you have to say, yes, I am. You can't say not at all. I am like the most biggest saint. Then there's no hope for you. You have to see what you are. You have to see all of it. If you have some fear in you or insecurity, look at it straight and say, I'm feeling insecure about this. Just be with it. And the answer will always come. You're feeling jealous of someone. That's something very hard for people to accept, right? They mask it with gossip and all of that. But say, I'm jealous. I'm feeling jealous right now. Why am I feeling jealous? Then the answer will come to you, which will say that it's because I think I should be there. So that means I want that. So the translation of that emotion of jealousy is, I want that. Instead, they'll say, I don't want all that. Who wants me all this and all? I am like, but they're jealous.
yeah.
So if you just say that, if you stay with it, I'm saying these answers will come to you. Then you'll slowly realize, this is what I want. So I have a need to be, say, like a need to be famous or something like that. Everybody should look at me. Why? Then like that you'll start decoding why. And then that will go away. So you have to first be honest and be able to look at it.
I love it. I think you would have made for a great shrink also, I think. Since we're talking about professions you could have excelled in.
I think, it's all a personal experience. Like nothing I ever say is just intellectual or theory or something I've read. It is not. Everything I'm telling you are things that I have gone through and I have done. So I'm telling you that these emotions have been there in me and how it has got resolved. And by the way, it's universal. It's there in every human being.
I'm sure.
The point of being human being is that. So I'm saying something that has actually happened, and it's an experiential thing.
What was it like? Do you remember watching yourself for the first time? Because எனக்கு வந்து இந்த இன்டர்வியூஸ் எல்லாமே எனக்கு பார்க்கும்போதே ஐ ஃபீல் அ சென்ஸ் ஆஃப் டிட்டாச்மெண்ட் ஃப்ரம் ஏதோ இந்த உருவம் ஏதோ பேசிகிட்டு இருக்கேன்ற ஒரு ஃபீலிங் வரும். அண்ட் ஐ கேன் ஒன்லி இமேஜின் ஹவு மெனி times multiplied it must be for someone like you.
I think it's definitely not the same. Like what people see when they look up at me on screen and what I see is definitely not the same.
Yeah.
I'm not able to see what other people are seeing. No, I'm not able to see it. So I'm pretty critical and like very technical, like I should have said that
very
faster.
Academic in a sense.
Yeah, like I could have said that faster. Why did I take that beat? I should have done that little more, this thing. Oh, why? hey, I could have reacted like this, that would have been so natural. Those kind of things.
Yeah,
but I, when it's good, I also enjoy it, but from in a detached way. Like I'll be like, nice, nice, as if I didn't do it.
I know what
because
you
I forget it completely. Like I forget because it was so much in the moment and it was not thought. It like, it can't be done again, or I didn't. It's not a plan. So when I watch it again, I'll be like, that was nice. That was, yeah, I like that. That was nice. Yeah. But it's definitely with detachment. It's not like, that's me. I am, it's more like, even when I refer to it, I'll say, when she comes like that, I think we should cut it there. She should. So I'm saying
you're
she,
talking.
like it's not really, it's like more of a film. Like it's a film and it's an actor like that.
புரியுது. மோர் ப்ராக்டிக்கல் திங்ஸாக ஆஸ் இன் இன்னும் ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்காக ரியலிஸ்டிக் செட்ஸ்லலாம் நடக்கிறது பற்றி பேசணும் அப்படின்னா, ஐ திங்க் ஐ ரெட் சம்திங் யூ செட் வேர் யூ செட், hey, there's a hierarchy on sets and this person's treated like that, that person's treated like that, and then comes an actress into the fold and all of that. I wondered how you would say reclaim your space. Do you have a list of things you do? Do you have a when you enter a new space and you see that, hey, I don't agree with this hierarchy in our space la.
Yeah, the truth is I don't agree with that kind of hierarchy because it's unnatural. Like it's very forced and it's done to preserve certain age-old processes which protect certain people. So it is ingrained in the psyche of people. Like they can't, like, அது எப்படி பண்ண முடியும், like no, this is how it works. So like that, it's ingrained. So it does feel a little bit, it doesn't feel natural. But I don't try to fight it and all that. I don't try to fight it. I don't think it's worth the time and effort to fight it. I think that we should just do what we do, and what we do will speak for itself. And say you're good at something and someone doesn't want to say you're good at something, it doesn't show anything on me. It shows who that person is, right? If this is black and the other person is saying, no, this is blue, is it the fault of, no, it is the perception of that person. So you should just leave it like that. All of these battles, no, you can't fight because there are like 8 billion people in the world. And if you try to see everybody's perspective and their psyche, you can't change everything.
I don't think there's enough time to do it also.
No, and also it's not worth your time. If you want to do something of meaning in this world, just focus on that and keep doing it, and it'll come. Your due will come and things will happen automatically. Don't have to. I've never been rebellious like that. What I said in that, again, a reel was made specifically talking, this hierarchy. No, I was talking in context with something else. I'm not upset about the hierarchy or something. Of course, it's not great, but it's not like I have a problem. I'm like, this is really bothering me. It's not. We were talking about some specific thing, and I said I enjoyed it because there's always this kind of a thing. I enjoyed breaking that a little bit. It's nice for everyone, for the world, when we break such fossilized thought processes. So that's what I said by that. It was not specifically that it bothers me.
நீங்கள் பண்ணுற நிறைய படங்கள் இல்லை இந்த கேரக்டர்ஸ் எல்லாமே, not just your characters but in general, I guess they get pushed into ideological zones because of certain situations they are pushed into. அதுக்கப்புறமா அங்கேருந்து they realize that, hey, you know what, இந்த இடத்துல if I keep quiet, I'm not gonna get my due. If I mean, இந்த இடத்துல நான் ஒரு விஷயம் ஒன்று பண்ணணும்னா இப்படி உலகத்தில் எல்லாருமே அழகுன்னு நான் நினச்சிட்டு இருக்க முடியாது அப்படின்ற ஒரு ஜோன்ஸில். ஐ saw this movie called Prana that you were in. I saw 19-1A. இந்த மாதிரி படங்கள்லாம் எஸ்பெஷலி நீங்கள் அந்த கம்ஃபர்ட் ஜோன்லேருந்து தள்ளப்படுவீங்க ஒரு இடத்துக்குள்ள. I wondered if any of these zones necessarily impacted you, the individual, in terms of what, not just the suffering they go through, but in terms of how they see the world, maybe. Do you ever feel like, hey, ஆமாம் இது எழுதப்பட்டதில் ஒரு நியாயம் இருக்குது, இந்த
I
கதாபாத்திரத்தோட
don't get affected by the things I do, no. I don't get affected. If it's something which will impact in a bad way, firstly, I don't do it. I actually don't do films like that. There's a lot of horror and thriller and all that I get on a daily basis. But I don't do it because I know that will impact, and it'll impact in a negative way. So it doesn't matter how much everyone loves to consume it and how much money it'll make. It's not worth it to me. So no,
நீங்கள்
I
இதை
don't.
அப்ரோச் பண்ணுற விதத்துலையும் you tend to really
It's
absorb
the
it as
other
well.
way around. Like for me, from me, a piece of me goes that way. That doesn't come this way. Like it's always a giving kind of a environment. And honestly speaking, once it's over, like it's actually over. Once the shot is over, I just bounce right, cut right out. Like it's only in the moment, that moment. Then, you know, if it's break time, it's break time. It's not like, oh, I'm still carrying it and holding that baggage inside. Oh, this character of mine, you know. I don't consider it so like important, you know, that like I'm like, oh, this character, I need to like keep it with me till the shoot is over.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That would be excruciatingly painful.
Right. நம்ம ஆல்மோஸ்ட் எண்ட் ஆஃப் த கன்வர்சேஷன் வந்துட்டு இருக்கோம். We spoke about a lot of things, including the variety of work that you do. It made me wonder, உங்களுக்கு despite all the variety of work that you've done, do you still feel like, hey, there are zones that you wish you could get into?
Of course.
That you're not getting, like what?
I don't like, no, I don't think I've at all done
No?
anything.
Satisfyingly exploratory.
Yeah, it's okay. It's like, you know, it's okay. But it's not great, you know.
Yeah. What would it take to have you say this was great?
I don't know. Like it has to happen, but I don't know.
Maybe it's lacking here ன்ற மாதிரி ஏதாவது, no?
It's lacking?
In this space அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி have you thought about that, saying, yeah, this is all good, but
See, when there is a certain kind of a potential, if that potential is not being used and instead, you know, you're taking that and trying to fit it into some boxes and, you know, trying to tell like, you know, the same stories again and again, you know, with this, if someone can be something else, you know, it would be great if someone could actually be like, okay, let's write something different because here's a person who can pull it off, you know, that would be nice. But I'm a little bit still having to squeeze myself a little into these things, which of late konjam I'm feeling more and more happier with the things I'm doing. But I think it's a journey. I don't have any doubt that I will be completely satisfied when I'm done with all of this. There's no doubt in my mind. It will happen, but I think it'll happen slowly. It's a journey for me.
Lovely. I look forward to seeing what else you have in store.
Thank you.
And I wish you the very best with all the films that you go on to do, and may there be a lot of them.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your understanding or your recognition of where things are coming from, because you need to have some qualities in you to be able to see that. And the fact that you loved Kadhalikka Neramillai and everything, like that, for me it shows who the person is, you know, more than anything. So yeah, thank you.
And in the conversation, I think it hit some unexpected spaces, right?
Really?
Because I'm thinking we are going to discuss cinema, obviously some life, I suppose. But
I think to me that's like very difficult.
No, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And this is why I do what I do, right?
Yeah.
I don't think...
Well, you know, I guess, you know, you generally have conversations and, you know, everyone talks about so maybe someone should it's okay that I talk about things a little
இல்ல
differently
absolutely
and intensely, like
அதான் சொல்றேன் நான்.
yeah, like
yeah because that's the fun of it, right? Already இது எங்கெங்கெல்லாம் போகும் தெரிஞ்சுட்டு வந்து பேசுறதுல என்ன இருக்குல்ல. So yeah, thank you for making this conversation so memorable.
thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed myself.
Thank you.